In this demo, I will go over the process of using the current version of iTrace-Toolkit. Instructions on how to use the other programs in the iTrace infrastructure can be found on our YouTube channel. iTrace-Toolkit provides a pipeline for helping with the analysis of eye tracking data and source code. Before using Toolkit, you will need to have completed one or more eye tracking sessions using iTrace Core and an iTrace IDE plugin and collected the data. Here, I have 3 core files and 3 iTrace Atom files, each a pair from an eye tracking session. Additionally, you will need to have a SourceML archive file of the session's source code prepared. Start by launching iTrace-Toolkit. When it loads, click Create Database and navigate to where you want your database to be. Name your file and select Save. There will now be a blank database file where you asked to save it. It is now ready for importing of data. Click on Import Data from Folder and navigate to where your core and plugin data is saved. Select the entire folder and wait for it to be imported. When it is done, you will see the sessions appear in the checkbox list. You can uncheck a session to exclude it from further analysis down the line. Looking at the database, we see that information from the core and plugin files have been brought in. In particular, the Gaze and IDE context tables contain the raw data from the 2 core and plugin files. After importing the data, we are ready to perform analysis. Select the Map Tokens button in the Analysis section. A small window will appear. Click on Browse for SourceML Archive and navigate to the SourceML Archive file you pre-made. If you want to overwrite pre-existing data, check this box. Otherwise, click Identify Tokens. This process can take a while depending on how long your eye tracking session was. We use a SourceML file to provide both the entire workspace of source code and also provide contextual information on the tokens that the participant was looking at. After it is done mapping, let's check the database again. Looking at the IDE context table, we see that the token section has now been filled in with various information, including the token that was looked at, the syntactic context of the token, as well as the XPath of the SourceML archive. The next step of using iTrace-Toolkit is to generate fixations from our raw Gaze data. Click on Fixation Settings. Here you can find 3 implemented algorithms along with various parameters. We'll use the IVT algorithm along with the default settings for this demo. Click Close and then click Generate Fixations. After it is done, we will look at our database. Here, we see that the fixation section is now filled in with the various calculated fixations, as well as the fixation run section detailing what filters we ran on our various sessions. iTrace-Toolkit supports multiple fixation runs to be ran with different algorithms and parameters, allowing comparisons to be made. After the analysis is complete, iTrace-Toolkit allows you to filter out fixations to streamline your work. Click on Query Fixations. You'll be greeted with a large list of parameters that can be adjusted. For this demo, we will filter for fixations that lasted longer than 500 milliseconds. iTrace-Toolkit currently supports 4 different storage formats for filtering. We will stick with the database format for this demo. Click on the Output Folder button and navigate to where you want your output to be saved. Finally, click the Filter button. There is a new database file that has been generated, and when we open it and view the fixations, we can see that their durations are all longer than 500 milliseconds. Additionally, iTrace-Toolkit lets you import and export filters to help save time. Going back to the filtering window, the user can export the currently set settings by clicking the Export Current Settings button, navigating to where you want to save it, and naming the file. This will generate a .sql file that contains the query exported. To import a query, click the Load SQL File and Filter, and select the file you want to use. This will generate another database file that is exactly the same as our previously ran one. For more information on iTrace-Toolkit, including the ERD of the database, please visit the iTrace-Toolkit wiki page.